So UFC legend Israel Adesanya says what a lot of MMA fans have been thinking for years now, which is that most MMA slash UFC fans did not appreciate his reign while it was currently undergoing. And he's absolutely correct in thinking that Israel was incredibly active, and you know, in comparison to his predecessor, Khamzat Chimaev, we obviously know that the activity level of the middleweight champion has gone downhill. Dricus was fairly active, so credit to him. But Khamzat, he only fights twice a year, and I don't think that's going to change, especially with a UFC championship belt strapped around him. It'll only add more entitlement to Khamzat and make him probably think that he could fight once a year if he so pleases because he's the champ in his head. But it's just not true. There's being a UFC champion, and there's being a memorable, good, worthy UFC champion. And fighters like Israel Adesanya and Merab Dvalishvili are those that are worthy of the UFC championship belt. They didn't fall into the opportunity, and they didn't abuse the privileges that the belt comes with. But Khamzat Chimaev, I think he definitely is looking to do that. I don't think Khamzat is like inherently an awful person, but maybe it's an ego thing. Something about him is making him think that he can just be as active as he wants. He doesn't need to have a certain level of activity to be liked or seen as successful. But Izzy was one of those guys that was an anywhere, anyone type of guy, and I think fans owe him, uh, or yeah, fans owe him a lot of praise for how active Izzy was and how welcoming he was about Alex Pereira. I think Izzy had a lot to do with Alex Pereira's rise. I really do. I think Izzy was probably one of the voices behind the scenes that told Dana to go fish out Alex, especially when the media was raving about him beating Izzy and their beef before the UFC was ever a thing for Izzy. I think Israel Adesanya had a lot to do with Alex Pereira's rise and how fast the UFC was able to bring Alex to a title shot after he was found out by the fans. But overall, Israel Adesanya deserves so much love and credit and praise. He is absolutely a legend. And what he's done in the UFC should never be forgotten because although he's not like in my top few all time, he's done so much for the UFC, like Conor McGregor levels of things done. Overall, let me know what you think.